Here we go, horror fans. I'm David Rory. It is October 21st, 2022. This is the original theatrical version of the horror film One Dark Night from 1982. Man on a Low Budget by Tom McLaughlin and his crew. Released in February 82. He played well, fell into obscurity. It's one of the best horror movies of all time. Naturally scary. Like the silent films of the 20s and after, the 30s, the 40s, 50s, all that good black and white color horror. I watched a lot of the newer horror, really new horror movies. Every sometimes I'll see a horror movie. I didn't really care for the Saw movie that came out. But I'll be saying some different anecdotes and facts about the movie from the commentaries themselves on the discs. And I'll read the article I wrote for Piffers Magazine. I think it was January. I'm trying to remember, was it 2020? No, it was January, I think it was January 2018 when I did that article and it came out in the Piffers magazine, www.piffers.org. And I'll be reading maybe some of the stuff on Robert Telleria's website, which Tom's mentioned in the commentary. Michael Hawes, the co-writer director, is one of the really good websites. That's the website that turned me on to the movie whenever I was, well actually it was Videoflex that sent video CDs, and DVRs and VHSs of these movies they released in the Republic domain at the time, and I remember looking on that site. I can't remember what year it was. I had to think about that. I'll empty my recycle bin here, but I'm trying to remember the year, but I remember seeing it on the site. It had to have been 05 probably, yeah. We were driving back from my grandma's house. We had stopped there for something to give her something or something we left, and she was getting ready to go to bed. I remember coming home looking on the Vigiflex site, I was getting movies from them. It was probably 06 or 05 before the DVDs came out, the 2-disc special edition. But I remember seeing on the site in his coffin slide up, so this is the movie scared me when I was a kid, and I heard about that, and later I saw about that Robert Telleria website. Tom said that he had his name Thomas McLaughlin like on his driver's license. He hated it. And this is not the original Opie, of course. This is what they stuck in later, and like they had to mark their territory. He even said Bob Summers did really good music. He marked his territory. I guess maybe there's things they must not have agreed on that wasn't mentioned at all. But this is the actress Melissa Newman. She's the her uncle is the composer Alfred Newman. And I'm trying to remember the other Newman. She's related to those guys too. And forget all of them, but. Michael Ostlass is not an Alfred Newman from Magazine. This is supposed to be like the draw you in the movie. Of course, I'll say the original opening whenever it shows up, but it was all a working title, Night in the Crypt and Rest in Peace. In '81 they started shooting this film. This is supposed to be her dad that's picking up hitchhikers on the highway, young women. He's in his 70s, older man, which his name is Carl Ray Marcevic, or Raymar, his nickname. He's really truly practitioner of telekinetic powers, and that's the director Tom McLaughlin with the flashlight in his mouth. He would take women, would pick them up on the highway, take them back to his apartment and drain their bioenergy and use it for telekinetic powers, telekinesis. Gary Newman and his band, the Dark Wave and New Wave pioneers, started punk rock and then music, and now it's gothic, dark, industrial rock. Made an album called Telecon in 1980. It's a #1 album. It's just dark. It's like what happens with Raymar in this movie. It's just one of my favorite albums. There's some really beautiful songs and some dark songs. A really good album he made. Of course, the title tracks were one of the darkest ones on the album. Here's the original opening sequence that he wanted with the coroner's vans pulling up to the Raymar's apartment. Got a lawyer, weird faces and stuff he said showing up here. We'll see here. Yeah, but Robert, this movie scared me so bad as a kid. They said they had nothing here but them for faces and music, but they said they had to have something, so they wanted them to get some police and paramedics talking on the radio about what's going on with police, actually, in this case. This is a really good shot. This is like... But Robert Telleria's website made me read about the movie more. I haven't seen it. I only played it on TV the one time. It was Super Scary Saturdays. I've been on TBS, and I remember that after that was the Goalies. I could not sleep after that. It just gave me nightmares, and the next morning I was still thinking about it and couldn't get out of my head. This freaking movie was... Commentary Tom was saying so many people saw it when they were younger. The theaters, and grandma told me to say, like, this is only PG. They wanted to get an R rating. They wouldn't pass one. Like, this movie scared the shit out of me. My grandma was like, why did she take me to see it? what are you guys doing? I mean, this movie scared me so bad. I mean, it's just only PG. It's just an actually scary horror. It doesn't have rely on gore or any of that blood and guts stuff like the slasher movies. It was going against the slasher movie so bad. Of course, Friday the 13th Part 3 just came out in 3D. That's when Jason Voorhees gets the hockey mask. I'm a big fan of those films, and my friend Chris, and some other of my friends. One of this paramedic here is gonna wheel in here. There's Don Houghton. He plays in the movie Doc Stader. It's the one on the right, no, the left that's gonna be coming up here. Yeah, he's actually one of the Bowery Boys. I think he's one of the original Bowery Boys' sons. I think he said one of the sons, the original Bowery Boys. So he's a paramedic here, and they wanted to do this scene within the apartment with Ray Moore, where they find him and he's dead at the beginning of the film. Of course, they wanted to do a remake. He's talking about now and having more backstory and showing Ray Moore more at the beginning. He's never really alive on the movie, and you screen, you really see him. This is an actor playing him here, of course. And look at all these plates and bowls and forks and spoons and knives jammed in the walls. That's his freaking telekinetic powers. And he's looking like, what the hell is this? This guy just looking like, what the fuck happened here? So I saw his understanding of this stuff. I mean, when I was a kid. And now I like it even more than the 612 this special edition Shriek Show maybe as it came out. I could see that Ray Moore and all this stuff, how powerful. There's the dead girls. He wanted to have makeup. They didn't have the budget. Didn't really have the time to do anything else with that.
Yes, sir.
With the dead girls and the makeup was kind of crappy. Just put some green, blue makeup, or gray, whatever on him. There's Ray Moore's bolt of his hand, of his telekinetic powers, his bioenergy freaking charging off his hand. That was a real Tesla coil that wired up to that